Hey guys, welcome. So last night I did it. I made the step. I've been struggling with my computer, and I know some of you guys are having computer issues. And so I decided to do a factory reset on my computer. I know, scary, right? But the cool thing is, because I run my business the way that I do, I actually run my business so that everything is saved online. It doesn't matter if I have an issue with my computer or if I have an issue with any other resources or tools. Everything is saved in the cloud. And so that was like my saving grace, is like I didn't lose anything. It's just a matter of just restarting things, because next month I am upgrading to the Surface Pro X. Boom, can't wait. Awesome. But today, you guys, I've invited Suzanne Davis with me today, and we are going to be chatting about Pinterest. Now, I know some of you guys are already thinking, Pinterest? Why in the world would I use Pinterest for tutoring? Like, that doesn't even make sense. But here's the thing. Pinterest is a great way for you to be able to get the word out there about what it is that you do, whether you're sharing your website or any content that you create. You can use Pinterest to be able to spread the word out there. And if you've got really great looking pins, and it's engaging, and people look at it and they think, wow, like I need to save that information, their eyeballs get on it. That is more visibility for you. And one of the biggest problems, I say this over and over again, you guys, one of the biggest problems we have in our business is that it's not that we're not good tutors, it's that nobody knows what we do. And so using Pinterest allows us to be able to get out into the world and be able to do what it is that we love to do. Now, I know some of you, you're like, I don't even have a clue, like the first steps of Pinterest. So that's exactly why we're here today. Today is only about the basics of Pinterest, okay? I am not going to dive deep into like some terms or anything like that. We're just really gonna keep it basic today. And if you're interested in continuing to learn with us, Suzanne and I are going to be hosting a webinar next week on Tuesday at 11 o'clock a.m. Central. I do have to warn you, though, that the clocks do change this weekend in the UK. So if you are out on that side of the world, double check your time, because the clocks fall forward. So if you're looking at my central time and you're used to just adding 6, you're going to now have to add, I think, 7 onto that number. So just keep that in mind as you are thinking about the time for that. But again, today we've invited Suzanne Davis. Woo, woo. Hey, Suzanne, how are you?
I'm good. I'm all excited about Pinterest. I wore red in honor of Pinterest.
Oh, that's such a brilliant idea. I wish I wore red. We should have collaborated a little bit better. I could have worn, I don't have anything that's red.
Oh yeah, this is the one thing that I have that is red.
All right, you guys. So I want you introducing who you are, where you're from, what do you tutor? Do you own anything that's red in your closet? I'm curious. I just want to know, because I don't think I have too much red stuff. So I'm just curious. Oh, and I should probably let you guys know, I do have a link for if you're already decided, hey, I want to be able to join that expert webinar. I'm putting a link right on in here for you. And we've got career and college counselors. Awesome. Is that
Oh, I know who that is. That's Maria.
Yeah, Maria.
Hi, Maria.
Hey, Maria, we're so glad you are here and joining us. And we also have Estavia in the house. Woo, woo. Estavia and I have been messaging each other back and forth the last couple of days. Awesome. It is me. Of course it is you, Maria. Yay. And we've got Elizabeth in the house. She owns a few things that are red, but not too many, she said. So Pinterest, the color of Pinterest, we'll start there because that's basic, right? The Pinterest color is red.
It's red.
There's a little you get today.
That's red, and there's a circle around it, and there's white. It looks very similar to the Target symbol. Yeah.
The P is white. The rest of it is red. There you go. That's all. That's the basics of Pinterest. No, just kidding. All right. So there's like some terminology that goes along with Pinterest, and like on some certain, actually, before we go on into all of that, let's talk about, I know you hate doing this. You hate talking about yourself, but we're going to go there.
Oh.
Do you look at your numbers on Pinterest and see how many monthly viewers you have?
Yes, I do.
You do. I know, because it's like kind of like a little bit of an addiction, isn't it?
Yes, I do. Even though it's not the most important number on Pinterest, I do check that.
And so what are you at today?
Around? I think I'm at 120,000.
Yeah, 120,000 monthly viewers. I want you guys to think about this for a second. If you had 120,000 monthly viewers, what would that do for your business? It would definitely get you more consultations, just like Suzanne. She's getting, each week she's got somebody who's contacting her and she's talking them through the process and onboarding and, just all these amazing things. And it's all because she's got this huge Pinterest presence. So Pinterest can really open up the door to our online presence, can't it?
Yes, it's my largest source of traffic, not Google, not Facebook. It comes mostly from Pinterest.
And tell people what it is that you tutor.
I tutor academic writing. So to give you an idea, academic writing tutor is my keyword. And if I type that into Google, I probably do come up number one, but there's only 140 people per month that even search that term. And it's not like they're all going to come to my website or anything. So I have to create other content to attract people. And I do that through Pinterest.
Which is awesome. And that's how you drive. So did you notice then the numbers change when you started using Pinterest of how many people were visiting your website? Like how long did it take before you started seeing growth to your website traffic?
I would say for a long time, it was around 5,000. Now I think this past month is 25,000. And so, like I said, most of that comes from Pinterest.
That is awesome. Now, I know that some people, they're just getting started in this. Like Graham Matthews, he's just getting started with using Pinterest. He just started a couple of weeks ago.
He's doing well.
I know.
He's doing really well. I'm excited for him.
Yeah, he's already moved up like his views on his website, like to 1,500 or something, or I remember the number 1,500 sticking out. I'm not sure if it was his monthly viewers or traffic to his website, but it had a direct impact. And you notice even with Suzanne's numbers of 25,000, it's not like every single one of those people is moving forward, right? It's just getting more eyeballs on what it is that you do, which is what our ultimate goal is. Yes, we would love everybody to contact us, but thank goodness they don't, because if they did, you wouldn't be able to actually work with anybody.
No, I wouldn't. A lot of them go for my email list. But
great. And so you do have an email list kind of set up with this whole entire process to be able to get people on that email list and begin to create a following. And it's amazing, you guys, what you can do with the following. And once you start having people that are following you, when you have new content, you can get that content out to them. And you can share it with them and you can continue building that relationship with them. It's not about what can I get out of this, but really comes down to how can I serve the people that I want to be able to serve in a better way. All right. So we've got some terms that we've got on Pinterest that are different from other social media tools, right?
Right.
We don't post like we do on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn or Instagram. We pin. So that is the term pin. Any idea how they came up with the word pin?
I think so, because you're actually saving something. So almost like you would be pinning something on a pin board. Think of Pinterest as an electronic or online pin board.
Yeah. Like the cork boards that lots of people have, like those tannish colored cork boards where you actually take a pin, you stick something in it and you pin it there. That's really the concept that they're going after.
Right.
So have you found that do people respond to pins, or do they more just share pins and save pins onto their stuff?
Well, okay. So to give people just an idea of what a pin is, a pin is that visual representation of a piece of content. So it could be a photo for your blog post that links back to your blog post. And so the pin would be that content visually represented. And what people do is they save it if they like it, or if they're not saving it they usually click back to your website to find it. So I find if I create in what's called an infographic, and that's that's like a visual representation of information, like a chart or a list, that's really useful. Those are things that get saved to a lot of people's boards because they want to remember that information. And then they also get people clicking back to whatever it is. So maybe you have a pin for something on your website, or you have a pin for your YouTube videos. You can create that visual image and lead people back to your YouTube channel or whatever. So it's not about commenting so much. You can write a little comment in there. And I've heard that Pinterest is going to start doing more with reactions. Right, like for videos, but all of the reactions are like the positive ones. There's nothing there that's like a dislike or unlike.
Right. Right. And I've actually noticed that social media across the board has been getting really taking all of that into consideration, like making sure that everything kind of stays positive with the types of feedback that people can just like hit quickly. That a dislike button would be terrible. Can you imagine like having 20 people dislike your pin?
Right. And they're wanting to help businesses. So they wouldn't want this option really that's going to hurt businesses.
Exactly. So one thing that I don't like about like YouTube is they have like the thumbs down. I don't like the video and they thumbs down. But here's the thing, like people will use the thumbs down for more than that. They'll be like, I don't like an idea that you've presented, and they hit a thumbs down, right? It doesn't even have to do with the quality of the content that you're putting on out there. Sometimes it's like they just don't like what you've said, or they don't agree with what you've said. And instead of like staying, neutral on it, they hit that thumbs down.
Yeah.
And it just is what it is. But yeah, so that's nice that they're going to put some positive reactions to those pins. And again, that kind of can add to social proof, can't it?
Exactly. Yep. But for now, the social proof really is how many people are pinning a pin, because people can see that. They can see how much your pin has been pinned. So, if it's 1,000, 2,000, whatever, that's social proof for your content too.
Absolutely. I didn't even realize that they had those numbers like right on there. So it tells you how many pins have specifically been, how many times people have pinned that specific pin.
Yes, right underneath the pin, you should see a number.
Awesome.
And that tells you how many people have pinned.
All right. So we've got pins. And then after pins, we have these boards. Tell us about these boards.
Okay, the boards are the way you organize all of your content, your pins. And so you take a board and you have a concept or a theme. So for a tutoring business, say you have boards that are, if you're a math tutor, that would be divided up into different types of math. Maybe you're tutoring algebra, so you would have an algebra board or trigonometry or whatever. So they're all around one particular concept, and then the things that you pin are organized in that particular board.
Nice.
So, yes. And what you want to do with Pinterest is create a whole account that attracts people. So you set up boards that are things that your ideal client is going to want to know about. And then you're pinning content that is useful to them in those boards.
Awesome. And there are two different types of accounts that Pinterest specifically has. You have a regular account, and then you have you could have a business account. What is the difference between those two types of accounts?
Well, the business account, you need a website. You need an actual business that you can claim. And it really is for the purpose of sharing what you have and attracting people to it. Whereas when you have a personal account, it's very much one-on-one what interests you. You're saving things that you want to know about. So Joanne, I know you're into crochet.
Yes.
So yes. So you might have a personal account and you would have, your different crochet boards. So maybe one on crocheting throws or crocheting clothing, those types of things. And that's really your personal board about things you're interested in. You're not trying to draw other people. These are things you're planning to do or planning to buy or just dreaming about, want to know about. And that business account has a completely different purpose. And it has things like analytics. So that's something you don't have in a personal account, because in a business, you want to know, well, who's visiting you, who's saving your content, what's performing well, what's not performing well, all of those things. Analytics is a tool that businesses really need.
Yeah, that sounds incredible, because then you can even use those analytics to be able to say, okay, which pins are performing the best, which ones are my high performing pins, and then is there a way to like recycle those pins and like pin again in some way?
Absolutely. You can pin to multiple boards. You should space it out. And just pin to relevant boards. So I have one board that's for my blog. It's called Academic Writing Tutor Blog. But then I have another one that's called Academic Writing. So I will pin something that's on my blog to that one board first. That's my first board. But then I'll wait 4 or 5 days and take that same pin and pin it on academic writing, where that particular topic is. Would it be helpful for me to show what a Pinterest business account looks like?
Yes, I think
it would be. Okay, so I'm just going to take a second here and open it up.
Yeah, that'll be awesome, because I think it's really important for people just to kind of see, okay, what does this look like? How is it a little bit different? Because you may already have like your own personal like Pinterest page, but that's not necessarily what you want to have for your business, because your personal Pinterest page is for you. What are the things that I enjoy out there that I want to share? Your Pinterest business page is for your ideal client, right?
Yes.
And so when we get into that piece of it, we are no longer pinning things that excite us or are really important to us, but they're things that this would really benefit my ideal client in a big way. The coolest part, I think, because this is one of the areas that tutors really struggle with, is they think that they have to create all the content that goes onto their Pinterest page. So now they become flustered and they start thinking, oh my gosh, so I've got to create all this content so that I can have, pins on these boards, and they almost get like overwhelmed before they get started. And really what's important about Pinterest is that it is a social tool. It is meant for social sharing. So you don't have to just post your own stuff. You can post other people's stuff in addition to your stuff to really elevate the value of people visiting your page.
Right. Think of it as a social search engine. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. But I'm going to share my screen right now and show people just a quick glimpse of what my business account looks like. And then we can talk about those different parts.
Oh, so funny. So I just saw your question, Kathy, but I answered it. Yeah. So glad that you guys are joining us. We've got Alexa in this house. Woo.
Oh, hello, Alexa. Hi, Kathy.
She asked, and she's already asked the big $1 million question, Suzanne. Are you going to be teaching a Pinterest course? Why?
Yes, I am.
Yes,
I'm so excited about it too.
Yes.
It's going to be going a deep dive really into Pinterest strategy for your business, and showing you everything you need to do to grow from not even having anything to, is being all set and having that clear purpose and growing your business. So I'm excited.
Yes,
all right.
I'm excited too. And you're going to learn more about that course when you guys come on. If you decide to go on the deeper dive with us for the webinar, you're going to learn deeper tricks that you can be able to utilize on your Pinterest page. And then you'll learn how you can sign up to really spiff out your entire Pinterest page.
Yep. All right. So you'll see here, this is my business account. This is the homepage of my business account. In the back here, this is just a representation of one of the boards I have. And they're all my content. They're all my pins that I've created.
And so people can choose what goes up there because they choose the board that they want to be kind of shown up on that top part.
Right. And I always recommend you select the board that has your own content.
Because it's got your colors, doesn't it?
Yes, it has your colors, so you can see my blog posts are those purple ones. And then I use the same colors basically for my infographics there. So.
And look, we weren't lying before. Look at this, 120.4 thousand monthly viewers. Yes. She wasn't kidding, guys. This is like real data right there. We're not making the stuff up.
Right. Okay, so these are boards, just so everybody who's not familiar with Pinterest understands. So you'll see that they all have different topics. These are things that I've chosen based on what my ideal client, which is your pre-college or college student wanting to improve their writing skills for college. And so you'll see academic writing, college study tips. I tutor a lot of international students, so I'm learning English. All of these are based on what I think my ideal clients need. So these are the boards. I'll just open this one up quickly. You can organize them into sections if you want, but you don't have to. And then each of these is a pin. Okay, so you have different types of pins here. Here I have an infographic, and then you'll see these are consistent looking for the most part, these purple box blogs. And then I have some other pins that I've created in there. But that's all of my stuff, and those are pins.
Awesome. And you mentioned that you can also organize these into sections. So what's the difference between like a board and a section in a board?
Okay. It's just sort of I don't even know if you can still add sections because not many people have used it. But you can, or you could. I don't want to swear that this is still an option. You could create different things inside a board, different themes, and dive deeper into that. I actually find it better after trying this out if you're going to have enough pins for a section, you probably have enough pins for a full board.
Yeah.
And you're better off creating the board. But when I first started with Pinterest, I tried these sections out. Okay, and then I talked a little bit about analytics. And so you'll see here with the Pinterest business account, you have analytics. This is for a month, and then you can change the date range. So if I look at the last 7 days, how many impressions there were, which means in front of people, being shown in front of people. How many people engaged with it, my total audience in the last 7 days. And here you'll see the data on different pins.
Yeah.
So that's really handy. And the other thing that you can find in analytics is what's called audience insights. This is really, really awesome and really useful for figuring out your ideal client. Because what it does is it breaks things down into categories and interests, and then it will divide it up into even more things. So if you look here, out of the people who visit my page, 96.8% of them are interested in education. I can divide that even more and see what types of subjects they're interested in.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right. And so subjects would tell me, my computer's a little slow. Okay, so that just shows me the pins from those people. So it gives you really good data. It also tells you the age range and the gender and locations. So this is divided by the metro, top countries, and then devices. This is a neat thing to know. So you can see that 48.4% of my audience, they're on an iPhone and they're seeing my content from an iPhone. So you'll see the Android mobile is next here. And so you can put these two together and realize that a huge part of my audience is actually finding me on their phone.
Yeah.
And then 47.5%, this is probably from a desktop. But it's really, really useful to find those things out and get to know more about your audience.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's the basics of a Pinterest business account. Does anybody in the group have questions while I'm still up here looking at that?
Yeah, so you guys, if you have any questions about Pinterest, we'd love to know, are you using Pinterest right now? Or is it something that you are interested in diving deeper into so that you can increase the amount of people that are able to find you? How many people would you say use Pinterest still today?
I think the number is, I want to say 300 million per month.
Okay.
But the interesting thing about that is that as far as all of the platforms, this is the platform that people go to buy things. They, 90% of Pinterest users are going to buy something on Pinterest. So the numbers aren't obviously as high for Facebook or Instagram, but that audience is a buying audience.
Yeah, which is important, right? Because they are going to Pinterest, they're getting ideas, and they are buying stuff. So Estavia would like to know, is it suggested to open a business account?
Definitely, because the only way you can attract people to your stuff is if you have a business account.
Yep. But in order to do that, you need to have a website.
Yes.
So that there is a progression of steps. So first build the website and then build on Pinterest if you haven't built your website yet. Now, if you already have your website up and going, you're good to go. And then you can start your business account right away. Otherwise, you do have to put it on hold until you have your website in a publishable form. It doesn't have to be perfect because nothing has to be perfect. We can always make things better, but it will definitely help. Kathy was wondering before, she was wondering if you can use it with videos.
Absolutely. And that's a big thing right now. I actually put in the past 2 weeks, 3 videos up on Pinterest. I'm not the most engaging person on video, so it doesn't perform as well for me, but it has performed really well for other people. Okay. And I've done a few different kinds. But basically, you can upload a video between any length of 1 second to 15 minutes. But shorter is better on Pinterest.
Okay. And so are they doing then like kind of research on that just to find out, what types of videos people are like staying on Pinterest to watch versus like going to YouTube to be able to watch it or?
Right. Well, Pinterest in their advertising say that it should be between 4 seconds and I think 32 seconds.
Oh, wow.
So
that's short.
Really short. So if you want people going to your YouTube channel what you would do is you would put on that intro. So like Joanne, when you have like an intro for your Facebook, in the Facebook group for the premiere of the YouTube, it's that kind of video that you want to produce and then have it click back to the full video on YouTube. Yeah. You could do a 15-minute video. That's a tutorial. Those work. But I think they're harder to get people to go back to where you want them to go.
Yeah, that's interesting. I can't wait to continue to play with this feature. I know you've been helping me with my Pinterest page, and I gotta tell you guys, I was like blown away. Psh, I looked at my Pinterest page and I'm like, oh my God. It's beautiful. We've been doing a lot of revamping with the online tutor coach because it's no longer just me, you guys. It's a we. You know, we've got Suzanne, who's one of our coaches here. We have Sam DiMercurio, who is our tech coach. And we have Terry Grigsby, who is our like, you need students right now coach. And we'll be adding another coach to be announced very soon in the future, in the coming year.
Oh, I'm excited.
To our team to help it grow. And we've got Beth in the house, woo, woo, who's been helping us with welcoming people in the ultimate support group, and she's just my right hand girl. Like I can be like tutoring a student and I can like send a message to Beth and she's like, I got it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. You are the best, Beth. I love you. This is an interesting question. So Kathy wants to know, can you go live on Pinterest?
No,
not yet.
No, if for any video that you want to upload, there's a 24-hour review period. Pinterest really wants to look at the content and make sure that it's appropriate for their rules.
Wow. And so what are like the kinds of rules that they have in place for their videos?
Basically that it's not offensive or doing anything. Like they want to make sure it's like safe content really to view. So most of us were not going to have a problem, but you know, like I wouldn't put up there a video on, you know, fireworks and how to put them off in your yard or something. Maybe you could, but
right. And it doesn't even feel like that is even like, that doesn't really fit the Pinterest audience. It kind of fits more like the YouTube audience or something, right?
Right. I just think they want really good control over what gets posted on their platform.
Hey, it's smart. It's smart. So no live yet. And you know what? They may never have a live, and that's okay. That's what makes all these different social media tools stand out and be different. I've watched, you know, since 2010, all these social media platforms that all seemed like a place to like communicate with, you know, friends and family and meet other people. They've all evolved into their own thing. Like Pinterest has always been big with like the imagery and focusing on the pictures, and now Instagram, like that's their big thing too, right? It's like the images and images that have people in them actually do better on Instagram. And then Facebook, it's all about the groups these days. And LinkedIn is about, you know, making connections with those business people. And Twitter, well, you know, I still haven't like figured out the Twitter thing. You know, you tweet, you do all this stuff. And like, while I have a Twitter following, I don't know, it just isn't like my cup of tea. I'm not there, but it is good for like if I ever want to know like up to the date news. So it is like the platform you go to if you want like to hear what other people are saying about news events. You can go to Twitter and you will find information about it. So that's kind of what I use it for these days. Or connecting with other people who are influencers. It's a great way to be able to start learning more about them and do research and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome. That said, you too. Should all the pins that you create, Kathy wants to know, if all the pins you create, should they be vertical?
Absolutely. Yes.
And why is that?
Because most of the time people are finding them on your phone. And that's the, and that's the way people view it. That's what attracts them. So people have tried square Some people with the videos that they're uploading have tried square or YouTube dimensions, and the YouTube dimensions are terrible for Pinterest. They just don't work because of people are viewing them on the phone, and it just, they look small, and it doesn't work. The squares are okay, but definitely when it comes to video, you want that vertical over the square video.
Yeah, and so I'm kind of like seeing that even as I just scroll through it and see stuff. I see some people are like for the video still putting out like a longer one, but most of them are longer vertical pins because you have to remember most people are looking at Pinterest on their phone.
Yes. Dive into your analytics too. And I bet they'll say that, like, you know, I think close to 80% of my audience is looking at my stuff on their phone. So yeah, I definitely want that vertical image.
Yeah, awesome. All right. So for somebody who is brand new, just getting started, they haven't done anything with Pinterest yet, they haven't even created an account, what are some of the first things that they need to do in order to get started?
Well, definitely you want a website. And then you would go to Pinterest Business. So I think it's www.pinterest.com/business. I'm not entirely sure off the top of my head. Go there, sign up, and then it will walk you through setting up your profile and your settings. And so for your profile, you want to have a photo. If you're really well known, you could use a logo, but for most of us, I just use my photo because people like faces, and they like, especially with tutoring, to see who we are. And then once you have that, you'll pick your settings as far as your website, any social media or other things that you want to connect to. Like if you want to claim, in addition to a website, YouTube, you can do that. There's a few other things that you can do in there, but go through that and then start creating boards. So brainstorm what your ideal client is looking for and create those boards. And then I would say create 10 boards and then start pinning to them. And you want to pin, if you don't have your own content, just content that is relevant, and try and create for each board 10 pins.
Now you had such great, like, I could tell exactly like what your brand colors were from your Pinterest page. How important are colors and Pinterest when it comes to promoting your brand?
Colors are important, definitely keeping them consistent. And some colors perform better than others. Now, unfortunately, when I set up my website and I paid for my little, symbol, my logo and everything, I liked the colors. It's green and like this really light purplish burgundy. And those colors go nowhere on Pinterest.
Oh.
Green is really not one of those colors that performs well. So I wound up changing the color of my blog. So that purple is, I just thought, oh, well, I'll try and pick up the secondary color and change it a little. But you want a color that stands out more. Right now, you'll find a lot of the hot colors like orange, yellow, pink, red do well. Peach is a popular color right now, and yellow. I'm seeing a lot of different shades of yellow. There's types of
a lot of purple. My new brand color you guys are seeing.
Yeah. I consider it blue violet.
Okay. Violet. It's like a blue violet, guys. And how does blue violet do on Pinterest?
We shall see.
We shall see. Yeah, because I obviously, like, Pinterest is something that I have an account with, and I have boards, and I have a presence there. but it isn't as you guys know, it's not my main place that we go. That's why we've got Suzanne Davis here, so that she can share all of her amazing information that she has about Pinterest and teach us more about that. As you guys know, my jam is YouTube. That's where we are right now. I love being able to create my videos. And so Suzanne has been partnering with me to be able to figure out, okay, how can we get more of these videos onto Pinterest to be able to drive some of the traffic from Pinterest into the YouTube that may have not been able to find me beforehand. And, today we're just really covering the basics of Pinterest, not to like overwhelm you, but just to understand, what is the lay of the land of Pinterest, get some of that terminology under your belt so that you understand what it means. And we are going to be diving deeper into the Pinterest world on Tuesday during a webinar that you guys can sign on up for. So I'm putting the link back on in there since it kind of got lost from before, but that link is to sign up for that webinar. Now, Suzanne is going to be also revealing a brand new class. As you guys know, she had taught a class all about blogging and using Pinterest to be able to drive her blog. But now what she realized through that course was more people wanted to spend more time on Pinterest and being able to dive into that. So what are some of the things that you learned? Like what were some of the things that you heard from people as you were teaching that other course? Because you only had 2 days about Pinterest that you
right out of 6 weeks, because
right.
It was a blogging course.
Right.
So, it was like I think it's this blogging success blueprint. So really there's a heavy focus on blogging.
Yeah.
Coming up with your content for your blog and those things. And there are people that were in that they just wanted to learn Pinterest, and they do videos and other things like that, which is why I was brainstorming with you. I was like, we should just have a whole Pinterest class for people who use other things like podcasts and videos, because you can use Pinterest to drive traffic to those places too.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're going to be learning more about that if you come to hang out with us during that webinar on Tuesday. It's at 11 o'clock a.m. Central Time, which remember, if you are in the UK, that you guys flip your clocks this weekend, I believe. So you're definitely going to want to make sure that you check that time so that you don't miss it. So that's one thing to be able to keep into mind there. So Elizabeth said that she's having some hard time being able to claim Pinterest. She's having so much trouble claiming her Wix website on Pinterest. Any advice on that?
Well, they do have specific directions for that.
They do. I just did it actually. Like, now that you say that, I'm like, because I just put my
they go through how to do it for Wix, for WordPress, I think Weebly, and maybe Squarespace, but Wix is one of the big ones. So they do have the specific. I have WordPress, so I can't tell you off the top of my head what it is for Wix, but
I can.
Okay, go ahead.
All you have to do is go to the search bar in the regular Wix page, where you manage all of the different websites that you possibly may have. There's a search bar inside of Wix, and you just put in there claiming Pinterest page, and it will have a step-by-step tutorial telling you exactly what to do. That's exactly the process that I actually just took this past weekend. As I was like, you know what, I don't have becomeanonlinetutor.com anymore. So I need to really make this what I have and make it authentic to me and where I'm at in my business today. So I just went through that process, and it was super simple. So you shouldn't have any problems if you have a paid site. So I'm not sure how easy it would be if you didn't have a paid site. It might not be as easy to go through that process, but if you go through that process through doing the search bar, seeing what comes on up for help, click on it, follow it, I promise you it should work. And if not, here's the cool thing, because you are part of our community, Beth, we've got live calls every single week, several of them. Let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 calls a week right now of support and help. So come on to one of those calls and we'll be able to walk you through exactly how to do it. If you're still having problems, if you've taken that step and you're still struggling, we will guide you through that process. That's one of the benefits of being an Insider Secrets Club member. I know that some of you guys have been like banging down my door and saying, I want in to the Insider Secrets Club, and I want you in. And we are going to be opening the doors in a few weeks. So stay tuned because we are opening the doors. First, we're going to go through this Pinterest. And then next week on our YouTube, we're going to be talking about reading. Woo-hoo. And then I'm going to be opening up the Reading Interventionist course again. And after I open up the Reading Interventionist course, then I'm going to open the Insider Secrets Club so that you guys can be well on your way with getting the support that you need for your online tutoring business. So awesome. Well, thank you, Bash. She says, woo woo for the Insider Secrets Club. Highly recommend. I love it. So she said that it was giving her a code that wasn't working. So frustrating. All right. So yeah, come into one of the calls and we will guide you into the process on what to do, because you know what, as a team, we can always figure out these little pieces together. Sometimes it's just a matter. Alexa knows. Alexa was wondering, how do I make my screen bigger? And I said, oh, you just go like that. Well, I have a touch screen, so I just pinch it, right? So like when I was saying just go like that doesn't mean anything to her. But then when I was with her in person and I was actually on her computer, I was able to go, you go like that on your mouse pad and you're able to make it bigger. And she's like, what? She's blown away. She's like, well, that was the whole, you know what? If that's the only thing that I were to learn from this entire conference that I came to, that was worth it. Oh, I love it. We're always learning and growing together, you guys, which is awesome.
Oh, and I do want to say that Pinterest help is really, really useful.
Oh, good.
And a lot of times I had trouble with rich pins, which is a more advanced thing. So I'm not going to talk about rich pins right now, but I had trouble with that. And I kept trying and trying and trying. And I wrote to Pinterest help. They suggested I try one more thing. I tried it. I said, it's not working. And they did it for me. So I've had that happen a few times where I haven't figured something out and they've done it.
Wow. So Beth, there's another thing that you could do. Like if we can't figure it out as a community, Pinterest will personally help you figure it out and be able to get it. That's awesome. Because so many people will be like, well, that's not our issue. That's so-and-so's issue. And then you contact the other person like, that's not our issue. That's so-and-so's issue. And you're like, could somebody just help me is like all you want. You start to get flustered and frustrated and it becomes so ick. And you are welcome. Maria said, thank you so much for sharing all your knowledge and experience. And, we do appreciate you so much, Suzanne, and all the knowledge that you share with us inside of the community, inside of our YouTube page, courses that you help to create. And, we wouldn't be who we are without people like Suzanne.
Oh, well, thank you. That's really sweet.
What was really sweet when I was looking at my Pinterest page, I'm like, are you kidding me? It is awesome. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. So you guys definitely come join us next week on Tuesday for the webinar. And we are going to have some special reading guests on Thursday. So if you are interested in learning more about how to teach reading specifically online, all that fun kind of stuff, then come join us next Thursday, because we are really going to be diving deeper. I'm going to have some people who've gone through the course this past time around to be able to share their experiences that they had, along with some of the tips and tricks that they have learned that you'll be able to implement if you have your own reading tutoring business. So definitely come join us for that. It's going to be a blast. And thank you so much, Suzanne, for coming and joining us. I think you need a big boom cha. So you guys, the boom cha, I'm going to see who can do the boom cha first inside of the chat. Now I know there's like a 10-second delay there, so it's okay, but I'm going to see if you guys can figure out how to do the boom cha inside of the chat.
I don't even know how to do that. I wind up writing it because I don't know what icons it is.
It's the fist emoji.
Okay.
And then it's the firework.
Oh, okay.
It will make sense, because watch what we do here. For you guys that don't know our boom cha, it looks like this. We go boom, sha. So we try to like, okay, what would that look like if it were emojis? And we're like, it would be a fist and it would be a firework, right? So that's what we have today. So thank you so much for joining us. And I don't know if anybody can figure out how to do it. So once one person does it, the cool thing is all you have to do is copy paste it from them. And then you can start putting the fist
Or
in
just write it like I do.
You can write boom cha. You can write boom cha. Let's see who's the first person to write boom cha or to give the fist emoji. We're not leaving. Oh, we got it. Ooh, ooh. So those, the rest of you, just copy what Beth just put on in there. And you can fist emoji our Suzanne Davis. That's not punching her in the face. That's our boom cha. All right, you guys, enjoy the rest of your day. We will see you soon. Bye, everyone.
Cheers, everyone.